Okay. Who wants a piece of what pie? Just to give you an idea of the pies on the table, there is the POP and access fees, worth over $7 billion a year. This is the network itself, where it's an adult network. It's very segregated. You can't get on there unless, but once you get on there, ladies, if you want to find yourself a hunk, 2 hunks, 3 hunks or more, you can do that. And the same with men. Men, there's flesh out there for you. You can actually pick it up for a fee, but you got to pay all these fees to get in there. Talk about soaking the system, but we're going to reallocate that money so that money goes to good using trickle up economics methods. POP training fees, absolutely. Everybody needs to be trained now, don't they? POP application fees, you got to apply before you can be trained, and then you got to be trained before you can get access. POP annual flips inspection fees. The flips, facilities license incognito prostitution services, basically the whorehouse, if that's what you want to call it, they're going to get inspected constantly. We're going to be checking them in and out. There aren't no pimps in this game. The government is the new pimp on the block, and it goes to a global level through the Global Office of the Patriots of Pleasures. In this, board members, as you find out who you are and know who you are, our Lord tells me that each of you has an interest in this and has a way of making it so that it's extremely safe for everyone. And that's the point, to get the pedophile, the kiddie aspect out of it. This is adult games, people. Think of it as artificial intelligence in the movie where Jude Law is coming out with, what's his name, Haley Joel Osment or whatever, David. Have you seen David? They're coming out of the woods after the flesh fair, and they bump into these 4 kids on the way into Adult Town, where you got these fishnet stocking legs that are the actual arches of the bridges and all that. Spielberg did it good. He did it great. And there's plenty of places. Nevada's smart. They're capitalizing on it. Their deserts have their little houses out there, their little ranches, and it's the same thing. The idea will be to get the stuff out of town, but there's adult zones where these adults can go and play hard if that's what they want to do. Flips, perennial economic registration is what that stands for, PER. You could have used the acronym for anything. I was just coming up with something. Basically, every year they have to re-register. It's a money grab. So we're looking at $2.3+ billion in registration every year. Okay, then we go to the RIP. The Ripper. Okay. Registered incognito prostitution services. These are the service providers, if you will. We're looking at, just for the registration of them, every year, $1.32 billion. For the RIPT, which is a RIP with a disease, and this is where we start getting control of the diseases. You can't service somebody unless you've been cleared to service them. You'll have different classes. You'll have those with HPV, for example. Those will be separate from those with HIV, and those will be separate from those with herpes. And it'll be very, very clandestine, very protected. No one's going to know about this except the Registry of Active Researchers, the doctors themselves, and of course the clients themselves. This won't be a big advertisement thing. Hey, come to our place. We're the most diseased, and then have someone standing outside there. It'll be handled as quietly as possible. And it only brings in about $618 million a year, because we like to believe that there are less than this. At any rate, tricked per. These are the registered customers. The tricks, we're counting on bringing in $22 billion a year. Let's face it. They say we have between 1 and 1.32 million prostitutes out there every year. They don't know how many we have out there. But if they do, there's a whole lot more tricks out there. And I know there's a whole lot of little old ladies out there that would love to pick up the phone for their 80th birthday and call a big old hunk over there to give her some time and company. What do you say, ladies? And what about you 35-year-old women out there looking at these new 21-year-old bucks off the block? And of course the same goes for them dirty old men. So at any rate, you might find someone your own age. How about that? And then there's the tricked with disease. They're worth another $11+ billion. And then the lips. I left this really wide open. This is the actual services. This is for the revenue generated. This is for the services themselves. And create it like a menu thing. So this can be expanded on phenomenally. It really can. There's 4 POPA federal recipient pies. There's 4 different pies in which monies are heading out to different federal agencies. The rest of this is trickle up for the most part, but the feds also get taken care of because they need to be taken care of. And this all brings us to a national annual benefit of $241 billion. Now, that's plus, $241 billion plus, actually. And that's an underball, way low ball. Now, if you times that by the 8 years of this health care package that we're hearing about, let's be fair to Obama, that isn't $1.2 trillion a year. That's 1.8 or 1.2 trillion over 8 years, is my current understanding of the situation. This brings us to 1.9 trillion. 1.9 trillion over the first 8 years. Think about that. So, it's going to be the longest one. You got to sit in there and bear with me so I can show you the money, Brother Woo, so I can show you the jobs, and we'll take it from there. So just bear with me. Thank you much, and we'll go to the next little graph thing here.